All right. So I'm super excited for tonight. We're going to be going over lots of different things. Some of it is, repetitive things that we go over all the time. And you're going to be hearing from several of us. I am going to be doing most of the training and then going to have Heidi and Leah share a couple things. And then Andrea is going to be wrapping up with some strategies as far as how to earn the watch if you have not done that yet. So just wanted to start the call out with I know there's a couple people on here who have earned their watch. So drop in the comments if you have earned your watch. If you haven't just yet, obviously we still have plenty of time, but drop in the chat how many more people you need to help to earn your watch, just so we can kind of help to cheer everyone on. Heidi. Yay. So many people are so close. I still have 5 more, but that's okay. I'm gonna make it happen. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I feel like this month is just amazing. I'm sure all of you feel the same way. I feel like it has been Magic Week and the end of the month, literally for the last 18 days, which is insane and amazing. And I just cannot imagine what it's going to be the last week and the last couple of days of the month. It's going to be so fun, so exciting. We've already added so many new friends this month, and not just new ads. I mean, obviously, yes, we are trying to add people because one, we want to help our friends, but there's an Apple Watch. All of us want to earn the Apple Watch, but we're not just adding ourselves, we are duplicating. And the duplication is what I feel like sets that momentum apart. When we have the duplication, we're helping our friends to help friends. It's so fun and it's so exciting, and I see that happening everywhere. So I'm super proud of you guys. And super proud of you for earning your watches, getting close to earning your watches. There's, like I said, there's still so much time left. As you know, it's only the 18th of the month. So, Andrea, like I said, she's going to be going over at the end some strategies with that. But what I want to just talk about is some things that we always talk about when we're getting our friends started. Um when we get someone signed up, I won't say that that's the easy part. That's not really like what I'm going to say, because sometimes it's hard to get someone to commit, but I feel like that is like the less amount of the work. We can get on the phone with them. We can share a cart with them, which we're going to talk about that, getting on the phone. We can do that and it's pretty quick, but where the real stuff happens and starts is after they get started and they get signed up. Because as you know, like it is so important for us to have that connection with them with someone else. So putting them in a three-way with your sponsor just to have that extra connection, checking in with them frequently, making sure that we're checking in with them, putting them in your planner when they sign up a couple days after, that way you can see if they've gotten their products. Either get back on the phone with them to go over how to take them, or send them the guide, whatever you want to do, and then be checking in with them at least weekly. I mean, at least 6 to 8 weeks. I know we have the 4-point check-in system, but obviously we're going to be checking in with them a little bit longer than that. If they are detoxing or they have something going on with them, we're going to be checking in with them more frequently than just once a week. So it's just going to be, geared toward each person. But like I said, I just feel like that is when the real work starts. And I just want to, we all know this, but I just want to stress that again, just because we have added a lot of people, which is great, but we want to make sure that we are able to retain them the most that we can. Yes, some people are going to give up. They're going to fall off. They're not going to respond. Those things are going to happen. But as long as we are giving them the best customer service, like I said, starting a three-way message with your sponsor, if as long as we're doing those things, then we know, okay, we did our part. We have checked in with them. We've asked them specific questions. We've, offered to make adjustments. As long as we're doing those things, then we did our job. So when they get started, um, plugging them in somewhere, whether that be a support chat, or if they're going to be starting with their reset. I know we have a reset chat going on now, and there's going to be probably a lot of those. Plugging them into a reset chat, that way they can have that accountability. And if they don't want to be in a chat and they just want to talk with you separately, that's okay too. Just send them a couple things about the reset, some graphics. That way they have that just be, checking in with them, seeing how they're doing, making sure they're taking their products every day, making sure that they aren't needing a little extra, some cucumbers, or something if they are like starving. That way they don't eat like random stuff outside of the reset. So just making sure that we are doing those things with them. Like I said, that way we can help to retain them. And something else that, like, obviously with the duplication, we always say planting seeds, like we are going to be posting, we're going to be sending messages, like we're going to be following up with people, doing all of these things. If it's not their time, then hopefully down the road, it will be their time. And it's kind of like that with not just the products, but with the business as well. Be thinking about somebody who you want on your team to work the business with now. Even if they say no and it's not their time, just you can always add them next month, and hopefully like get them to start sharing. But be thinking about those dream teamers. Something that I want you guys to do right now is have this in your head if you want to, or jot it down if you have a piece of paper. I personally, pen to paper is good. That way you can see it. So I'm just going to take a couple minutes for you guys to do these things. Think about 3 dream teamers. And I want you to do 3 separate ones because I want it to be someone that you've never messaged. You have never talked about them or talked to them. You've been afraid to message them. You're just nervous for whatever reason. So write their name down. Someone who you want to do this business with and you think would be great at the business, but you have never talked to them about it. No product users, nothing. Write that name down. And then the second person I want you guys to write down is someone who you have talked with about the business before or about the products, but you didn't talk to them about the business. Someone you have talked with at some point. Put them on your list because they're going to be the second.
That's what I was thinking. It's funny.
They're going to be the second person that that you message. And then for the third one, I want this to be someone who is already on your team, somebody who is already using the products. They're a product lover and you just see so much potential in them about the business. Write their name down as well. So just take a couple seconds, be thinking about those. I want you guys to write them down because we're going to have some homework this next week. That's what we're going to do is we're going to message those people together and hold each other accountable with that. So write those people down if you will. And as you guys are doing that, just be thinking of ways that you can be consistent to be casting vision to these people. And I feel like everyone is doing such a good job at this now, like posting in your stories, talking in your stories, showing your face, getting uncomfortable and doing lives. Putting testimonies in your stories and on your Facebook page, telling your story. I feel like people will relate with those things, your story and everyone else's, so much. Be continuing to message, whether that be new reach out messages, inviting someone to an opportunity Zoom or an event just to learn more about the products. Like, just keep showing up consistently on your social media. That way, these people are seeing these things. And like we've talked about before in the past, is people are more likely to, with the algorithms, see your stuff if you are commenting on their stuff. There's people that I was like, I had no idea I was even friends with them on Facebook, but it's because we don't interact on each other's things. So if there's someone that you see so much potential in for the business, or you want them to use the products, then make sure that you are going to their social media, not like bombarding them, but showing them some love on their post, getting in their stories, replying to their stories, asking them questions, non-plexus related, That way they are going to be more likely to see your stuff. So, just continuing, like I said, I feel like everyone's doing such a good job at this right now. So just continuing to do that as well. And then I know in the beginning, I said we're going to be talking about getting on the phone. I know that we keep preaching this, and you guys are probably like, okay, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing this. But as we know, it's been proven, like it makes such a difference when the second one was that for the Dream Teamer, Liz?
Yeah, that one. Mhm.
Okay. So for the second one, I think that one was someone who you have messaged in the past. Either if you've talked about them, with the products, or if it's been about the business, someone who you have talked with before, but they're not currently using the products. Okay. So getting on the phone with these people, like I said, I feel like it makes such a difference. The phone call can be quick. I know that I don't like getting on the phone. I'll be honest. I don't like getting on the phone to sign people up. But I love that we have the share a cart. I do think that it is a nice tool that we have. I do feel like it can be kind of wonky, which it's fine. If something happens, we can always fix it. But I just feel like we miss that connection with them and miss kind of sprinkling in either about the business or just the fact that they can get someone to do this with them to hold them accountable. Because as we know, when we're going down through signing them up, I personally sign them up on my end. I don't think I've ever had anyone that's like, well, I want to put the information in myself. So I just like ask them the questions. I put it in. And when you get to the website, you just tell them like, hey, you have your own website. This is for you to like get referrals, to use toward products, or, however you want to say it. Everyone talks about it differently. Is there anyone that you could think of that could benefit from these products, or anyone that you want to do this with, that you literally do everything with? Like, can you think of anyone? And just like we said, like just get silent, like let them think about it. I feel like this is where there's such a big connection. And this is what I'm going to have Leah share a little bit about, just because Leah and I had talked on, I'll just let her explain it here in a minute. She'll explain what she noticed about when she was getting on the phone more in the past versus, I won't say recently because she is now, but there was a period where she wasn't, and just the shift that she was noticing. So I'm going to have her share that in just a second. But like I said, you can sprinkle in a little bit more about the business, or just getting somebody to do it with them while you're on the phone. And then so even asking them for a shout out, it does not have to be anything crazy. Just like, if you are loving your products, like, are you going to share this with your friends and family? Or would you mind giving me just a quick shout out on Facebook or whatever it is, just with your new journey that we're going to be doing together, and just see what they say. But I know a lot of you have probably heard me talk about this. Some of you are a little bit newer, so maybe you haven't, but something that I like to do when I ask somebody to make a post, do a shout out, tell their story, if they're seeing changes, whatever post they're making, I like to tell them then that it's okay if they don't get a lot of interaction, because we know we could post a picture of our kids and get 200 likes, post a Plexus post and we get 5 likes, and it's from each other. Like, that's just how it is. But that does not mean that people are not watching. So just letting them know that, like, this is brand new. Your friends and family have not seen you post anything about Plexus or the products yet. You might get some love on that post and you might not. And just say, like, I still don't even get a ton of love on my Plexus post, but I know that people are seeing them, but people want to see you using the products consistently. Like, let's go ahead and just set up an event for you. That way you can personally invite your friends and family just to come learn a little bit more behind the scenes. No matter whether you get a lot of interaction from your posts or not, we can go ahead and get that set up. Like, does Thursday or Sunday work? Like, just ask people that, because what are they going to say? They're either going to say, okay, yes, or they're going to say no. Because I feel like if we don't ask that, then someone posts and then they don't get any interaction on it, then they get discouraged. And then they don't want to do the event. So then when you ask them to do the event, they're like, I don't know, I don't really want to do it. No one liked my post. And then I just feel like it's harder to kind of get them to do the event if you haven't brought it up. But if you've at least brought it up and put it in their mind, whether they committed or not, I feel like it's a little bit easier to move forward with the event. And then you already have it set up. So it's quicker versus doing the post, going through the whole thing, getting some messages started. And then it's like 2, 3 weeks later, then you're finally having the event. If you already have it planned and set up, then they're getting started on a Monday. And then by next Monday, you can have their event. Like within a week, like they could, have so much more potential to get friends to get started with them. And it's exciting. That first week is exciting when you're waiting on your products. You first get them, you try the pink drink, whatever it is. And then, as we know too, sometimes people detox. And then once they detox, they don't want to make a post or they don't want to do an event because they're detoxing and they're worried the products aren't working. So if we already have some excitement in them with making the post and doing the event, then it's easier to get them to push through that detox. So that's like another little thing that I feel like helps a little bit too. But where's Leah? Is she on here?
I'm right here.
Okay. Oh, there you go. I don't know why I didn't see it. Anyway, so that's just what I want to talk about with the getting on the phone and setting up the event and all of that. So I just wanted to have Leah kind of share a little bit about what I was talking about a second ago with getting on the phone and the changes that she noticed.
All right. So first of all, I was kind of like in that spot in your business. I feel like we've all been there before where you're like, what did I used to do that I'm not doing now? And I feel like every time we ask ourselves that, like we know the things, but it's the things we don't want to do. And we're like, maybe that's not it. Maybe it's just something else. Maybe it's something easier that I can do. And so I got on a call with Heather and Andrea, and they're like, how's your daily IPA and how's getting on the phone? And I'm like, yep, those are the two things. You guys knocked it right on the head. So besides daily IPA, I mean, everyone knows writing that down, doing that consistently, but getting on the phone, like when I first heard about Share a Cart, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome because phone calls are so awkward for everybody. Like, let's share a cart. And not only did it not work half the time, you would send it and then you were checking in, like, did you do it yet? Let me know when you do it. Let me know when you order. It just was not a good thing. And I got into the habit of it. My team got into the habit of it. And just within the last couple months, we got back in the habit of doing the phone calls and getting on the phone. It has definitely changed my business, my girls on my team's business. And it just makes that connection, like we say every time, like getting on the phone with them not only makes that connection, but it also makes sure that they order at that moment. You can talk about the app. I love telling them, like, let's get on the phone to place this order and let me help you walk through downloading the app. So I always talk about downloading the Plexus Go app, helping them log in for the first time, which kind of then I go into the most people make a post and would you be willing to do a shout out post for me? And if they say yes, then we'll kind of lead into the referral program a little bit there. And if they say no, they're going to wait for their products. I still say like, that's completely fine. And then we go into the referral bonus of, well, if you do get 3 this month, this is what you get. And sometimes when they hear that, like $320, who doesn't want that? So definitely getting on the phone. And I think Brooke Hemingway's video in the Star Diamonds, I don't know if you guys are in there. If you're not, get in there because the videos have been amazing every single day. But I loved Brooke's video. It was like, we get on the phone and nobody starts alone. I definitely want to start this verbiage when I'm talking to people on the phone. But she basically tells her entire team, like, nobody starts alone. You're going to have an accountability partner. Who could that be? Not like, could you think of somebody, but who could your accountability partner be? So I love that verbiage. And she's like, everyone on our team signs someone up. And then once they sign someone up, we get them 3. And then once we get them 3, we get them 6 to get the watch. And it's just like that +3 every time. So I definitely love that, like not leaving it up to them to think of someone, but like putting them on the spot and asking them, like, who could that person be for you? Who would do this with you? Yes, I agree, Brianna. They have been amazing. So if you haven't watched hers, definitely go back on the Star Diamonds page and watch hers. It's really good. But after I got off the Zoom with Heather and Andrea about getting on the phone, I immediately got on a Zoom with the girls on my team and went over like start to finish, how to sign someone up, how to finish it, and the follow-up system. I used to be really bad at that too, like not getting off the phone and going straight to my calendar. And we have done a way better job of that this time too. Like you get off the phone and you go lay out your days. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 5, day 7, week 1, all the way to week 8. And that has been a game changer because everybody's in my calendar. This time I've even done levels 1, 2, and 3, even if my girls are checking in on them, just so I can go in and be very consistent this time. I'm like, did you follow up with this person? Did you follow up with this person? Just to make sure it's team wide and that we're all doing it. So that's all I have. But the phone calls have definitely been a great thing, of course, to add back in.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, I wanted Leah to just touch on that because I know you guys hear us say it like, get on the phone, get on the phone. But I know that Leah like saw it personally. I remember when literally, I wish I knew the percentage of everyone on Leah's team that got started. I feel like it was so high that they got at least one person to do it with them. A lot got silver. And it was because Leah was bold and she just offered for them to make how much ever money back, however, whatever Leah's verbiage was. I feel like I was like, holy cow, like literally almost everyone that you're getting started, like is going silver within a week. And it was so crazy. And I know that Leah was feeling a little bit stuck and we were like, well, what are you doing differently now? And the phone call was like the main thing that we all like could think of. And it's like, it's just so simple, but we always say like, we have to get uncomfortable to grow. And most people don't like talking on the phone. I mean, I love to talk. I love to socialize, but I don't like to talk on the phone. So I don't like to sign people up, but I do it because I know that it's going to help me in the end. And then who knows, maybe there's somebody who we get them to share and they continue to do the business. So we want them to see that, like, because we're going to be like, well, get on the phone to sign everyone up. But then we didn't get on the phone with them. So they're like, well, why? You didn't get on the phone with me, so they just already see that that's part of the process. Okay. So the last thing that I kind of want to talk about before we go into talking about the watch and whatnot is just how to continue to help people grow. If they do give you a shout out, they do an event, they're wanting to continue to do the things, just a couple of those little tools to help to keep them going. Cause I feel like sometimes we do an event and then we're like, what now? Like what's next? And we just always have to put ourselves back in the spot of we were in the same place. We had no idea what we were doing. Like now we know to continue to message people to events. We know to put things in our stories, to share testimonies, like to do these things. But people that are brand new and getting started, they don't know to do that. And they don't know how to make a post. Obviously, we have so many different posts that we can make, whether it's just about like the probiotic, just gut health in general, the testimonies, our personal testimony, keep it short and sweet. Like today was the first time that I haven't had a sweet treat like after dinner time, like they don't know those things. So after we get them to do the initial post and we get them to do an event, continue to help them with post. I know a lot of people on here use the board system. Allie has lots of good tools and boards. As well, for one, as far as the event, you guys might know where it is, but just in case you don't, in High Vibe under guides, scroll to the bottom and Andrea has in there I think it's like called Newbie Wellness event or something like that. That one's in there. I know Allie has one in boards that might be the spring one. So just want to mention that if you guys are going to be hosting an event for somebody, just a couple different places where those are. But anyway, showing them how to make a post, even sending them post. And then helping them write up a testimony. Like when you ask them, like, what changes have you seen? Like, helping them to kind of break that up into different posts. That way they have multiple different posts. If they have less inflammation, they have more energy, they're sleeping better, like they're not snacking as much. Like you don't have to cram all of that into one post. Help them sprinkle that in over like, a couple weeks along with some other posts. That way they kind of see how it works. We want to hold their hand, but we also want them to feel empowered. So as we're starting to do all of this, we're obviously in three-way messages with them because we're encouraging them to not only post and get in their stories, we're, encouraging them to send messages, continuing to have us like get in three-way messages. So once you have like showed them how to do things, go to them. I know I talked to some of my girls about this. Go to them behind the scenes after it's been a little while and just be like, what would you recommend to them? Like and then letting them answer. That way, then they can tell you what they would recommend. If it isn't exactly what you would recommend, help them maybe tweak it, and then they can go into that message and do it themselves. I feel like giving them a little bit of empowerment with that, with making some decisions, and leading some things, I feel like that helps people to want to continue to go forward. And then you don't feel like you're always doing everything for them, but also too, you're showing them how you do things. That way, when they branch off a little bit more on their own, then they're doing things how you would normally do it. They're making sure that they're teaching their people how to post, how to message, how to follow up with people, doing all of those things. So just, like I said, just getting uncomfortable. It is a lot of work when you are first starting out and helping someone to share and get friends, but putting in that extra time and work with them definitely pays off. So not only helping them, but continue to cast vision for them. We obviously love the products. We love the opportunity. We love all of those things. So continuing to show up yourself on social media, do things that are uncomfortable, like the lives that we don't want to do, getting in our stories, showing our faces, putting our goals down. I'm sure, all of you are probably in the chat. You saw me, like, I have a really bad habit of not sharing my personal goals. We get to that point to where we're just, helping people under us and we're just not sharing our goals personally, but us sharing our goals, that casts vision for our team because they see that we are still going after goals no matter where we're at in our business. If we're silver, we're senior silver, senior ruby, we all diamond, we all have goals and we're going to continue to have goals. So we have to put those out there to our team to cast that vision for them. So they continue to see how much we love what we do, how much we love the products, and cast the vision with them as far as themselves. We obviously a lot of times see a lot of potential in people that they don't see in themselves. And I feel like this is where I won't say anything's like our job, but I feel like this kind of is our job because it's our job to get them to see that belief in themselves that we see in them. So whatever they're lacking in, if they have a fear of whatever it is, go and find a video and send that to them. We have to ask them questions. I will say this, ask them questions. This is like one of my big things is sometimes I just want to talk and be like, I see this in you. I see that in you. And just like tell them all those things, but just ask questions. Like, how are you feeling? Like, where do you feel stuck? Why is this X, Y, and Z? Let them answer the questions. That's why when I am like helping someone who's new to getting shit started. I don't know, some of you who are newer may not have seen the video that I've done that's called like I put an expectation Zoom, but it's not really expectations because no one has to do anything to be on our team, but it's just questions and stuff to ask them when they're first getting started. I really like to do those Zooms when someone's first starting out and wanting to share and whatnot. I like to get on, like I said, what I call an expectation Zoom where I ask them questions like, what do you want out of Plexus? Obviously, it's going to change, but right now, why do you want to share Plexus? And just let them answer those questions because I feel like it gives you such a good guide of how to help them. So like I said, just be a good question asker. Let them talk, let them answer the questions. I just feel like, again, it just kind of empowers them a little bit more, and gives that like drive and excitement. So anyway, that's all I had on that. But I am going to have Heidi talk a little bit about earning the watch because she has already earned the watch this month. I know there's others as well, but Heidi is the first person I'm like, I'm going to ask her to just share a little bit about some strategy, some things that she has done this month to earn the watch. And then Andrea is going to finish up with some things. So Heidi, if you want to go ahead.
Okay, there it goes. Yes, so I earned my watch the second week of November, which I was super excited about because I told Tyler that I was going to give it to him for all of his support. So he gets a new Apple Watch because he just bought me one last year. So it was for him. But when I first did, so March 1st, I went back through because I write down who I send messages to, who my new reach outs in my planner every week. I write down everybody. And if they tell me no, not right now, or if it's money, I put like a money symbol next to them. And I just tell them like, it's no big deal. Like I'll keep you in the loop if there's any new deals that come out each month. And they're always very like, they're like, oh, thank you. Like I would love that. So usually each month, like I go back to that list and I'm like, hey, just let you know, like these are the deals for this month, like if it's better for getting started. And that's kind of what happened this month. And I just have stayed connected with those people just through life, honestly, like since like November. I went through their pages, commented on stories. If they made a post, commented, or if I already had their like number, I would just text them here and there, just see how, their week's going and stuff like that. So definitely just staying connected with them. I have seen like a lot of growth and just like in my conversation since then. And that's something new that, because I love to talk to, but I'm like, okay, like how can I connect with this person? And I just have started to know like, I'm going like to toddler moms and more military spouses and like nurses and that kind of thing. But another thing that I've been doing is reels. I have no idea how to make a reel like a month ago. I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I don't care. I'm just going to find things I like to do. I like to dance. I'm not good at dancing, but I like to dance and I'm just going to act silly. So that's what I've done. And those are like the ones that get the most watches, or the ones I make about my daughter and my husband, about just how my husband is like, I mean, everybody like says their husband's amazing, but like he goes above and beyond for me and my daughter. And so I highlight on that a lot, especially being a military spouse. And another thing is I have a large background in mental health. Like I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner and I've struggled with a lot of mental health myself. So I have been more vulnerable about that. And even like in messages one-on-one with people, when they've asked me like because I've had people ask me like, why did you start? And that was a big thing for me. My mental health was like my number one thing. I was pregnant on bed rest. I was literally going stir crazy. And on top of my GI issues, like I was like a lot of mental issues. So, just all I have to say about that is just be vulnerable, like share your story. If someone asks you, like, don't beat around the bush, like just tell them, like just be personable with them. Cause that's what they're going to connect with. And, another thing that I started doing, so I was trying to think of like things that instead of, because being who I am and in my, like, just like my education and stuff, I want to like tell everybody everything. And so scaling back has really helped me, and not just like flooding them with all of this information, because like I, just looked back like when I was in nursing school and I was in like anatomy is like one of the hardest classes because you go through so much, and it's like they like pull all this information at you at once. You're like, oh my God, like I need to go back and read all that, and you get overwhelmed. So I'm like, I need to try to say things to people without making them feel overwhelmed. And one thing I realized is that we have two parts of our brain. We have a right and left side. The right side of our brain is our emotion side, and that's where we hold all of our emotions. So when you're talking to somebody and you are getting like what they are wanting out of Plexus and their like what they want, they're all emotion. Like you are in that side of the brain. So you want to try and stay in that side of the brain, because the time you go to the other side, they're going to start thinking logic. Like, okay, like, can I afford this? I don't know if I can. They're going to start second guessing themselves. So I was like, what can I do to try to keep people like on, like with their emotions, like why they want to do this? And I was like, okay, I'm going to send a testimony. After I gather their goals and everything, I say to them, and this is what I've been doing. I have somebody that comes to mind when you've told me your goals. Is it okay if I share a testimony with you? And everybody has said, yes, that's awesome. So I've sent it to them, and then I just keep it going. So I'm like, once you read this, like I'll check back with you in a few minutes. And so they usually ask like, what have they taken? Or like, do you know? And I'm like, sometimes like the testimonies say it in there. Other ones don't, but I'm like, this is what, based on their goals and your goals that are very similar, this is what, and then I've sent the pictures of the products. And then a lot of times they're like, all right, when can I get started? And then I'm like, okay, well, here's the pricing. And then I get on the phone with them. So and usually like saying and sharing a testimony before sending the pictures of the products, I have found just in this last month has helped me personally a lot more, and then getting on the phone, like we were talking about before, and just talking to them. Like the other night, it was a girl I went to nursing school with, and she's like, I didn't even know about half this stuff. They never taught us this. I'm like, I know, it's crazy. But so I'm working to get her an event this week and then someone else as well, because I'm going to start duplicating now. But that is really what I've done, and what I've noticed is just sharing more like testimonies with people one-on-one. So
Perfect. I love it. Getting personable, vulnerable, getting uncomfortable. I feel like those are the things that we just like keep saying and coming back to. And there you go. Heidi's the proof. She earned her watch because she's doing this thing. Thanks, Heidi. Thanks for sharing that. Okay,
problem.
so just to finish up, Andrea is going to just kind of go follow up with some things for the watch, just some strategy and whatnot to earn that if people like myself have not earned it yet.
Love all of this. I love that. And yes, that simple system is so easy. Like sending the testimony, then asking, like, do you relate to any of this? Do you want to see what they took? That is like sped up the process so quick. And they see, I don't have to have them watch a video. I don't have to have the, ask all the things. It's like so easy just to go grab a testimony, pop it in there, ask to see if they want to see what they took. It just speeds up the process. And also all the newbies can do it too, right? Like it's just such an easy system that they don't feel overwhelmed with a ton of steps. So I love that, Heidi. And I love that you're like hitting pain points and all of that. So thank you. This was also great. So basically what I want to talk to you guys about is just strategy and how to, if you haven't earned your Apple Watch yet, that's okay. I haven't earned mine yet either, but I'm going to. And if you guys can just break it down and say, okay, I'm going to focus on a list, right? A list of people. And we all know, I mean, if you've been in Plexus for 6 months, 4 months, 6 years, whatever, you guys know that you have had people who have commented on your post that maybe you missed, or maybe that haven't gotten started yet and you just completely forgot about them. So here's what I am doing. I have made a list. I mean, you guys should see the people on my list I made today as we were driving in the car. I was like, holy crap. Like, because I'm like, I feel like I'm pretty good at like following up with people, keeping a list, but people fall through the cracks. They just do. Like sometimes they comment on your post and you literally don't see that comment. And so what I've been doing is I go to Facebook, and you guys know like the search bar in Facebook, I type my name in, and then I'll type in like reset, or I'll type in pink drink, or I'll type in like bloating, or I'll type in like triplex, or whatever that may be. And so then I'll go through and I'll just see all of the people who have liked my post. I'll see all the people who commented on my post. I mean, there were people that, from like 2019, who commented on my post like, hey, I'm ready to do it. And they still haven't done it. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about them. So I have a long list of people that I'm going to be sending messages to tomorrow. But I want you guys to also know there's a feature on Facebook too that it's like when you click on your Facebook profile, like you're on your profile, like where it, like you can write I don't even know what it's called anymore, but like write a post. Have you seen the filter? It's called filter, and you click that and then you can go back in like the dates. So you can go back to like this date in 2019. So you can see all of your posts. And so what I've done is let me make sure I'm telling you right. Cause let's see, hold on one second. Yeah. So it's like, can you guys see this? It's like right here, it says what's on your mind. And then it says filters right here. And you just click this and it says go to, then you hit today. And then you can literally go like March 2018 done. And then it goes from March 18th and then it goes 17, whatever. It's like all those posts. So you can go back and just scroll back even if you want to do that, like, listen, take the time to do that, because you guys like go back to when you've had a rank up month. Like that's what I've been doing. Like April 2019 was the month I went I went Emerald. And so I go back to that month because I was like, I know that I was going ham on all my posts. And I was like, people were, commenting left and right. And so I have a bunch of people from that month that I am messaging to. Okay. So that's a hot tip. Take time to do it. It is so, so worth it. Okay. So here's the message that I'm sending. And I can put this in the chat too. Hey, Rebecca, I know that you've been interested in blank. You've been interested in the triplex. You've been interested in the reset, whatever it is. Maybe it just wasn't the right timing, but right now I have one more. You can put, you guys, you can spend this either way. I'm offering an additional $10 off. That's just me personally. You don't have to, but that $10. So I'm saying, hey, I have one more free enrollment code. Okay. Enrollment is $9.95. I'm offering $10 off. And there's a free reset as well. That's an $89 value. It's the cheapest I've ever seen it. And it's the best deal you'll get. If you want to jump on this special, I have one more code left. Do you want it? Right? Like I'm asking, like, basically I'm saying I have one more free enrollment code. Do you want it? And there's a free reset attached. You can do honestly however you want to. You don't have to offer anything if you don't want to. You can literally say, hey, listen, I know you've been interested in the triplex and weight loss or gut health and weight loss. There's a free reset this month. This is the cheapest I've ever seen it. You're saving $89. Like I have 5 left. Do you want it? Right? I have 5 more left. I thought of you first. Like just create that urgency. They don't know. Just create. I have 5 more codes left to get a free reset. Do you want this? Whatever. And here's the thing, if you're stuck in your business right now, you won't grow if you don't expand your network. Okay. If you are not expanding your network, you're not going to grow. So if you're like, okay, I don't know where these people are going to come from, get creative. Okay. I want you to get creative. Maybe you just moved to a neighborhood, or maybe you're in a neighborhood. Does that neighborhood have like a mom's group, right? Like start a mom's group. Like I started a Gulliver moms group for my street, right? And there's just like there's probably like 20 people in there, but like I've been able to friend request all those moms. And I live on I don't even live in a neighborhood, y'all. Like I just live on the street. And so like you start things like that. Allie has like a recipe group, start a recipe group, friend those people. Think of ways that you can expand your network. Maybe you have your kids on a soccer team or a baseball team or whatever. Get a group chat going with the moms to coordinate snacks, to whatever that may be. Like just get creative to expand your network. Friend those people, okay? Join groups. Okay, so here's another message that I'm using. I said, hey, Rebecca, I know you were interested in the triplex. And right now I have $10. I have a free enrollment code and I'm going to cover your shipping. And I thought of you first before I messaged the 5 people I have on my list who are also interested. But I wanted to reach out to you first. Do you want this code? Okay. So you can just have that urgency, because even though this is all the way through the end of the month, you guys, people, if you're like, yeah, it's like, you can have it until the 31st or whatever, like people are going to just take their old sweet time. But if you put urgency behind it and you're like, hey, I have like 2 more left, people are going to feel like, okay, like I want to jump on this. And if you have people that have been on the fence, use this strategy, because if they feel like they can just sign up any old time and throughout the month, it's not going to feel urgent for them. And it could just lead into April and May. Like sometimes we just have to pull the urgency card. So that is my hot tip. Go back through all your posts. I know it's not anything new, but here's the other thing too. Go back through your non-plexus posts, right? Like if someone has liked your post, you have built up good rapport with them, right? Like they like you and they are liking your posts. You have the green light to message them, to ask them if they are interested in plexus, right? Like if you see someone repeatedly watching your stories, write them down. Yes, the story archive review. Yes, like go through all of those. That is your list. I mean, can you imagine how many people that is? Like, writing those people down, just inviting them to just come take a look at plexus, come get some information, like sending those things and those messages. Like, don't be afraid. We have to be bold. And the other thing I know Heather touched on is this month, I want you guys to focus on building a business builder. Because here's the thing, really quick, and I'm not going to preach too long, but I want you guys to have that intrinsic motivation. What is intrinsic motivation? Do you guys know what that means? That means having motivation that is not extrinsic. That is not, hey, here is an Apple Watch. I'm going to be motivated to go get the Apple Watch. You are motivated because you have a why and because you know why you are here, right? I know I've said this before, an Apple Watch is not going to change your life. And I don't want to see this team be completely dead in the water in April. I won't accept it because that is BS. That is crap that you guys will work so hard for a flipping Apple Watch that you won't work hard enough next month for your dreams and your goals. If you just want to be here for an Apple Watch, then quit and then come back next March because we always do an Apple Watch in March, right? So just quit and come back next March, right? It'll be easy, right? Because why do you want to have a business that's just always like this and this and this and this? It's going to be like this, but it's going to be more like this than this. Okay. If you want to be here and your why is strong enough, then I want you to show up just like you're showing up right now in March for a freaking $400 Apple Watch. I'll buy you a dang Apple Watch. I'll buy everyone on here an Apple Watch next month. Like, seriously, though, I see it all the time. You guys are busting your butt. You're being bold. You're doing all these things. And then next month, it's like, where's everybody at? Right? Don't do that to yourself. Why? Because if you want this, Plexus does this specifically so you can have a business, a strong business for the summer, right? You have people in here, you have business builders that are being created right now. Take the time to pour into them, right? You have to create a business builder this month. You have to do that. You have to get someone to silver. You have to get someone to senior silver, to gold. Because guess what? That is going to set you up for next month, right? You're going to help them duplicate someone else. That is going to set you up for May and for June. If you want a strong business, if you want a legacy business, I want you to ask yourself this. Will this create a legacy business? If it won't, then don't do it, right? Next month, if you're like, oh man, I just don't feel like working, like I just worked so hard in March, you're not allowed to take your foot off the gas. It's just, you can't, right? Like it is not feasible for you to do that for your business. It is a terrible business move. I will tell you that because why? I've done it before. I've had great months in my business. And the next month I'm like, I deserve this. If you're not where you want to be, you don't deserve anything right now. And I'm being so honest because I have been there and I don't want your business to be in these valleys because of one great month. And the next month you're like, I'm taking my foot off the gas. You deserve to have a steady business and your energy dictates that, right? Your energy and the way you're showing up dictates that. And if you want to lead a team that is not just here for the dangly carrots, then you have to show up when the dangly carrots are gone. You have to show up next month when there's not an Apple Watch. You have to show up next time when 5 people quit on your team from this month, right? Like it just happens. It is what it is. But when you are committed to your business and your team and your dream and your legacy, it doesn't matter because you're going to find a way. I always know leaders who are all in is when they show up in the crappy parts of their business, right? I know those leaders are here for the long term when they will be willing to show up when the business is not going the way they want it to be. That is the only thing that separates me from people that aren't where I am right now is I've just been in the sucky positions way longer than anybody else has and I've been willing to stick through them. That is the difference in anybody that you see that is ahead of you, right? Like we've just been able to stick it out longer in the sucky parts of our business and I've failed a lot of times, but guys, I haven't given up and you cannot allow yourself to get in those moments, right? The Apple Watch is great, but guess why Plexus does this? They do it so you can get ahead in your business. Why do they do leaders retreat? Why do they do convention? So you can get ahead in your business, so you can have spurts of momentum, right? That is what your business is made for, is spurts of momentum, all out momentum. And so anyways, I just want to tell you guys that I want you guys to finish this month strong. I want you to get your Apple Watch. I want you to earn 2 Apple Watches, but I also want to see you guys developing, getting on the phone, asking for the posts, getting the wellness parties scheduled, helping them see the event. Tell them, hey, you're not getting off the phone until we get you one person to do this with you. Be bold, because I know for a fact if people see you and they're like, wow, this girl is people are not going to say, oh yeah, I just don't know. If you're like, hey, I'm getting you one person to join you. Like, you're not doing this alone. I didn't do this alone. Who can you go? Who can we find? Like, they're not going to be like, they're gonna be like, okay, I think my mom. Like, just try it. Try to be bold and try to be excited and see where that gets you. But I want you guys to build someone this month. Your goal these next week and a half is to develop a silver. If you've already developed a silver, develop another one. Okay. That is your homework. That is your goal, because you want to continue to pour vision and cast that vision for those people. You never, ever know, because months like these, they breed emeralds, they breed sapphires, they breed diamonds. You never know what can happen unless you just ask and you're super duper bold. So, anyways, I love you guys. And I know that was tough love, but I don't want to see you guys next month, because what is the point of working your tail off this month to just put your foot off the gas? Because I know a lot of you guys are wanting to go to Hawaii. I know a lot of you guys are wanting to be senior Ruby, and you're wanting to get out from the same rank that you've been under. This is your ticket. This is your ticket to get out of where you are now and to continue to push forward. I can't even explain, because guys, I've been where some of you might be right now. And I know, because I've taken my foot off the gas. The minute the month is over, I'm like, whoa, I'm done. I assigned 6 people. And I'm like, now I look back, I'm like, great. What did you do with those 6 people? You didn't freaking even develop any of them, right? Like, no wonder it took you forever to get to X, Y, and Z. Like, you weren't developing, and you thought that you deserved to have that time off when you're not even where you want to be, right? And so you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, is this worth it? Is this going to get me any closer to my legacy? And if it's not, then don't do it, okay? So I love you guys. Let's go freaking kick butt. Let's do all the wellness parties, schedule them. The template is in High Vibe under guides. Ask for the post, show people the vision, invite to the opportunity call on Sunday. I'm inviting all my newbies, having them invite their newbies. Just if anyone is wanting to go for the watch, or if anyone has shared a post, just say, hey, there's an opportunity call on Sunday. It's quick. It's 15 minutes. Here's the info of the people who are going to be speaking. Send them that graphic and just be like, I would love to have you on. You never know what you might need to hear on these calls, right? So just invite those people, guys. It's so worth it. All right. Love you guys.